Hello, this is Angela Wolf, and I'm going to give you another lesson on sewing designer jeans, this time the front pocket. And again, I'll be using my new DreamWeaver XE to show you a few of the features on there to make your top stitching so much easier. So first of all, I use silk charmeuse for my pockets, which seems a little crazy, but it's nice and soft against your skin, and it's very easy to sew to denim. So I'm going to line up my laser light with the raw edge of the fabric, moving over the laser light so it's easy for me to sew that seam all the way around that curve. I'm sewing with the denim side up just so you can see the laser light a little bit better. But it really doesn't matter which side you sew from. Just make sure you do the same for both pockets. If you start at the top on the other one. Of course, I'm utilizing some of the real easy features, the automatic thread cutter, and lift up my foot, and I'm all finished. There we go. There's our first seam. So now we're going to press that towards the inside of the garment. So you do not want any wrinkles on this silk charmeuse or whatever lining you're using. So I'm going to kind of use my fingers here to fold back this seam. See how the denim is thick enough that this really works out well. I'm just slightly finger pressing that seam just to the inside, using a lot of steam, and then of course use your tailor clapper to hold that in place, and that will make a nice crisp seam to do top stitching on. So it looks good. Now let's go to the right side of the fabric. I just want to make sure there isn't any lining peeping out, which it's not. Give it another good steam press, use the clapper, and you will have an absolute perfect crease to top stitch. Perfect. So now I'm just going to pin my lining in place to make sure nothing puckers around, and we're ready to sew. So again, using my Sew Straight laser light, I'm going to align that just on the edge of my pocket curve. And I'm stitching 1/8 of an inch from the edge, and here I'm actually using a 4.5 stitch. Here we go, all the way around. Notice I'm not back stitching at the front or the back, because both of those edges are going to be into a seam, so you really don't need to back stitch. So there we go. And we need to stitch one more row, but I want to show you one more cool feature on this machine. There's another way to use this laser light. Here I'm pressing the laser light, and this time I'm going to touch the base of the sewing machine. See how the laser light is flashing? Once I touch that stitch line and then click OK, the laser light will quit flashing, and then the laser light actually moves to that stitch line I have. So now I can just have a perfect seam the exact distance away from my first stitch line. So see how the laser light just kind of lines up with that previous stitch? I'm going a little slow around the curve to make sure it doesn't get out of whack, but it's sewed perfectly. Perfect distance from each other, and the back looks great as well. Alright, so that's step 1 for pockets, and the next video will show you how to add a coin pocket. So thanks for joining me. Cheers!